I'm having these romaine lettuce tacos, and that's jackfruit with the seasoning there. James having a fancy salad with blueberries and this pasta dish. We're gonna talk about Neil Young's Coastal soundtrack and maybe a song from Captain Tractor. We'll see how far we get, because James will probably want to say a lot about Neil Young. He likes him very, very much. So I'll put that there, trying to shield the camera. And there's underneath your salad bowl is a bowl for you to put the pasta.
Oh, that sounds.
Yeah.
I was going to put it in salad, which
because I figured you'd probably want to, but the pasta should probably cool off a while before you eat it anyway. But that's up to you. So, I guess, well, I'll talk about this.
Did you talk about the...
I didn't really talk about the jackfruit. So, this is the first time I was given this product. I've tried jackfruit before, but not the President's Choice one. So, you can see the, the nutritional information. You can see also that it's far past its sell-by date. On here, best before date, but honestly it tastes just fine. And now I'd heard about, there's things, you know, that don't have very many calories, like I'm sure I've introduced you to shirataki noodles in the past, last time I was dieting, but now this time I'm already down to 140.6 pounds as of this morning, so it's going well. But these things, you notice that there's not very many calories in this. A cup of this and 25 calories, that's really almost nothing. And no saturated trans fat, no fat whatsoever, no sugar, and only 1 gram of protein in that much. So there's really, this is like an empty food, but it's not very many calories. So what I try to do when I'm dieting or just eating in general, you'll notice James's salad has lots of healthy things in it. It has basically the same sort of things I have here, but he has onions because he can eat onions, and blueberries as well, and some Parmesan cheese, which I don't have. I just have the carrots and red cabbage, pomegranate arrows, and I've seasoned the jackfruit with Mexican sort of spices so that in a pan. I didn't use any oil, I just used water, and that's usually how I do things, because I add up every single thing, all the calories that I'm eating. And what I don't add up though is the things like pomegranate, red cabbage, and turmeric, whatever, right? The things that are, or blueberries, I won't add that. I'll just give myself a smiley face in the margin, because if I'm eating something that is nutrient dense and not very many calories, I don't care. That's great. I'm happy with myself. I'm not going to beat myself up with calorie count for something that I should be eating. So something like this, I do count the calories, but it's almost nothing anyway. But I look at this and I go, well, can I make this more nutrient dense? And how I could is by not having the jackfruit, frankly. It would be something else like sprouted, using sprouted lentils and cooking those with the seasoning. That would make it, that would raise my protein and make it more nutrient dense and whatever. And last time I made these, I made them with microgreens. Again, that boosts the nutrient content. So doing that, even with the jackfruit, it's going to boost the nutrient content. So I look for things like that to amp up my nutrient content, because every day I'm trying to make my calories less than, like I want to lose weight, so I want to have fewer calories than it actually takes for my body to use in the day. So Wow, that's some wind, eh?
It wasn't.
It wasn't when we started, but now it's just blasting. So anyway, we'll see if this works out, or why not. But yeah, so I'm not, if I can eat only say 900 calories in a day, well, I'm gonna lose some weight that day, especially if I'm exercising on top of that. But I don't want to starve myself of nutrients while I'm doing that. So lots of antioxidants and stuff like that, and keeping my protein up and whatever. So I'll show you later. I'm writing it all down so I can share it later with you, so you know how I've been doing this. Because last time, I remember I started my blog post entries about diet and stuff after I had already lost a lot of the weight, or if not all of it, and people weren't believing that I had needed to lose weight. They thought, oh well, she's already skinny. And I knew that because James's father mentioned that to me, and so I knew it was coming from his sister, who was very overweight. And I felt bad, you know, because I felt like, man, you know, if you ate this instead, like talking about her, right? If she were to eat this instead of that, or whatever she was eating, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever, she would look like this more than she did, right? But so I think this is why my angels actually guided me to gain weight, so that you could watch me through this whole process and go, oh yeah, she actually did weigh that much, and look at her every day going down. So, which I'm not wearing something that you can look at me every day, but honestly, I've just lost, well, about a little less than 5 pounds. So I don't know how much it would show anyway.
It all adds up. Things not to worry about.
I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna read this lyric out while James is eating, so that then he can start talking about it. So the first one off of this that we analyzed was song number 2, track number 2, and it's Comes a Time. So if you want to follow along, and right now split the screen, bring up another window with the lyrics for Neil Young, Comes a Time. And the next one we'll be doing after is Vampire Blues, and then the next one, I'm a Child, which on this, it's track 10, but it's instrumental. He hasn't put the lyrics, but James knew the song from before, and so he was able to sing it and stuff. So then we could analyze the lyrics as it was, because these songs, I don't think there was anything new off of this, you said?
Oh, there was new stuff.
Oh, there was new stuff.
I've never heard of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Anyway, so, but this I'm a Child, you said, was from 1967?
68.
There you go. So before Pauline. Anyway, so comes a time. Comes a time when you're drifting. Comes a time when you settle down. Comes a light feelings lifting. Lift that baby right off of the ground. Oh, this old world keeps spinning round. It's a wonder tall trees ain't laying down. There comes a time. You and I, we were captured. We took our souls and we flew away. We were right. We were giving. That's how we kept what we gave away. And all this world is repeated. So, the rhythm as I heard it was sung perfectly as written. So it was written with this and sung in the same rhythm, which often, if you've been watching us, people don't often do that.
It's highly unusual.
It's unusual for people to get the rhythm right. So,
folk music.
And I don't know why. They just don't do it. So, the first 2 lines, there's an opposition. And you notice with the rhyme, there's driftin', liftin', down, brown, brown, down. Those rhymes. And then there's the paradox with you and I, we were captured, we took our souls and flew away. And then we were given, that's how we kept what we gave away, that's the paradox there. So James says, though, there is a slight wrong accent. Lay-in gets more of an accent than down does in that line. I guess it'd be the chorus.
Laying down, yeah.
So, meaning of this song, he started a family. What he gave away was his drifting light. He's a part of this life cycle and isn't worried about disaster. This is a part of what he's meant to do. Or he and his wife, or significant other, whatever. They allowed themselves to be captured, capture each other. They're caught up in something. Kept their souls. They're being true to themselves. So, do you want to talk about that at all, James?
Well, when I was a young punk, it's a little hard for me to talk because I had a little bit of a procedure. I'd hesitate to call it an operation. Or a growth on my jaw here. Every time I move my jaw, it hurts a little bit more, and then it doesn't. The freezing is starting to wear off, so it's annoying. So it's hard for me to talk. I didn't like that song terribly much. I didn't hate it. Now looking at the lyrics, I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's a laid-back song for laid-back people. I don't know about that. It's a wonder tall trees hang down. I think it kind of maybe refers to his parts of his ranch, or part of his ranch. There's a ranch kind of south of San Francisco. Yeah, like not the Bay Area, but it's in between San Francisco and Silicon Valley of all things. It's kind of a bucolic. I hope it still is, to a large extent.
Or maybe he's talking about, maybe with tall trees, he's talking about he and his wife. I don't know.
Well, you see, he lives right on the San Andreas Fault.
Oh.
Right.
Then yeah, probably is right referring to actual tall trees.
I think the closest city in that area is Redwood City, whatever it's called. So I think he's talking about some sort of disaster. It sounds more like a, I don't think they have hurricanes there. Sort of thing. Anyway, I think the trees are probably, I don't think they're California redwoods or sequoias, but I gather they're big.
So, next song on this one is track 6, Vampire Blues. That's the next one that we analyzed, and honestly, I don't like it at all, but I don't like the blues. So, James...
It has the virtue of brevity.
Yeah.
I think when he released it in 1974, this is a different, I think this is done live or something like that, either in the studio or in front of an audience. As I recall, the release back in 74, I think it was, is on the Beach album, was considerably longer, but maybe it was just I didn't like it back then.
And really, it's in threes. Like the first line is repeated, and then the third line. It's basically like the couplets, right?
Yeah, it's a classic blues form. I think it might stem from a practice of making lyrics up on the fly. So
oh yeah, okay.
You got a rhyme.
Yeah.
It's a couplet, but you repeat the first verse of the couplet.
And that gives you a little more time to think of it.
About it.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And the big trouble is, like blues or jazz, whatever, is supposed to be spontaneous, and you'd like to think spontaneity would be exciting, but I don't have to tell you that classic 3-line blues form, 12-bar blues form is generally as boring as, we'll say, snot, but it's the lyrics have got to be really snappy, and one of the big troubles is improvisation of that sort, like the blues sort at least, tends to be really like you're just bringing stuff in. It's the same sort of thing in rap. It's supposed to be made up spontaneously, but they're always throwing out, spitting rhymes and stuff like that. You're copying lines from hither thither, and classic sort of thing is you start off a song, woke up this morning, and that's not even the beginning of Statesboro Blues. The Statesboro Blues. You know, like, there's all sorts of stuff like that, where they'll just chuck in stuff taken from elsewhere, and it really doesn't make for a very attractive, it's like taking an element from one menu and an element from another menu without really thinking about it, right? How do you improvise food? I suppose you can do it, but probably once a person gets really good at it, there's probably an element of it. But it's not recommended for someone who hasn't really thought things out, done a lot of practice and whatever. I generally just don't believe in improvisation.
Well, so the first part, the rhythm was perfect, and then it went downhill
for the
there.
First verse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Second verse, but the fourth verse is just a repetition of the first. So.
I'm a vampire babe, sucking blood from the earth. Well, I'm a vampire babe, sell you 20 barrels worth. So I'm skipping out the repetition while I'm reading this because I don't want to.
This was done during the oil crisis of 74. So that's what it's about. It's about the oil companies, I guess. Huh?
So I'm a black bat babe, banging on your window pane. And that should get the accent, not black.
Bat. It's not
and
black
he
bat.
doesn't say it that way.
No.
Wind should get the accent, not pain. But again, he doesn't say it that way.
Well, it's not just black, it's babies accenting over bat. I'm a black bat baby.
Yeah.
And generally, although baby, the first syllable of it is accented, it's generally these sorts of things, forms of address, not forms of address, but just address, direct address to someone, something, whatever. They're less emphasized, even though there will be an accent there, than surrounding accents.
And then I'm a black bat babe. I need my high octane. So he...
High octane.
Yeah, he says, so, ox should get the accent. And even then, it's the rhyme with pain, and it's not great because of that octane. The tane is not as pronounced, right? And so then pain is more pronounced, and so it's kind of clumsy. And so in order to get to make the song, the rhythm sound parallel, then a lot of people would do the same thing that he does here, and he sang it wrong. Yeah. He gave tane the accent. Well, that's not how we say it.
Yeah. And so, even window pane, he sings window pane.
Yeah.
Window pane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sing it the way it is accented. You're already with a melody messing up the melody way better than anyone that I've ever run across. You're already messing up the melody of the way we speak.
So then the next part, good times are coming. I hear it everywhere I go. Now there's a problem there that, like he gave times the accent, it should have been good.
So he says good times are coming.
Yeah.
Well,
but I hear it everywhere I go. Hear it? Good times?
Well, you can say I hear this.
Yes, but it's kind of clumsy.
I hear these.
I don't know what you say, but it sounds kind of clumsy.
Well, yeah, I hear this sort of thing.
Yeah.
You'd say I hear this. Instead of saying maybe should have said this, but it does make sense. I hear it everywhere I go. You know, like what it would be is in quotation marks. You can't sing quotation marks.
Good yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I hear it everywhere I go.
Okay. So, James thought of a different way that he could sing it, like he was beating out the rhythm.
1, 2, good times are coming.
Yeah.
I hear it everywhere I go.
And then you can sing it the way it's written.
Yeah.
And it works. So he should have done that.
It's still kind of messed up. It's not like in the first line. It's I'm a vampire baby. See, like he's a vampire baby. So it could be good times are coming, baby. See, like the coming would be parallel with the vampire.
Yeah, I guess I hear it everywhere. It's more casual. If it was I hear this everywhere, it would seem. So that maybe you're right. but they sure come in slow.
So I like the last verse. It's just how can you do, like I know this song. I don't know it that well. It wasn't one of my favorite albums. I didn't play the grooves off of it or out of it or whatever. But you know, I'm going good times. You know, when I heard that, the first line, the second line, I couldn't hear what he was saying because we don't talk that way. He was saying, "Good times are coming." We don't talk that way. Good times are coming, as opposed to good spaces or something like that. No, the good times are coming.
All right,
So he screwed up a good verse just by.
Next song, I'm a Child. So pull that one up, and it goes, I'm a child, I'll last a while. You can't conceive of the pleasure in my smile. You hold my hand, rough up my hair. It's lots of fun to have you there. God gave to you, now you give to me. I'd like to know what you learn. The sky is blue and so is the sea. What is the color when black is burned? What is the color? You are a man, you understand, you pick me up and you lay me down again. You make the rules, you say what's fair, and it's lots of fun to have you there. I'm a child, blah, blah, blah. So, the while and smile, they're perfect rhymes. Child is actually an off rhyme with that. And you know that because you get down to the last verse, and you are a man, you understand, which those are off rhymes. And then with again, which is not a good off rhyme at all.
Well, you can do again.
Not
it's
good.
probably best to rhyme it with then and when and that sort of stuff. You do that, don't you? Again with when and then.
Well, it could be, but it's not a good rhyme
No,
with
it's not.
understand and man.
No, it's horrible.
It's that's very clumsy.
Some people
But-
would want to rhyme it with the rain and whatever.
Yeah.
So there is consonants there. It's called when you've got the equivalent alliteration, but at the end of a word. Alliterations at the beginning of correspondence between consonants.
So this song is about he's reminiscing about being a child, presumably with his father, about being a child with his father, and he's
Yeah, you mentioned the possibility of grandfather.
It could be.
Well, it says you make the rules.
Yeah, grandfathers don't really make the rules. They just let the kids go. They're like, whatever. Just like to have
kids
them
are
around.
well behaved around grandparents. They know if they get too rough and rambunctious, they're going to get told afterwards by their parents. As they should. You know, you can't mess around with elderly people.
No, got to be gentle with them. I wasn't gentle enough with my grandma once, and I loved her very, very much. I would say I was in love with her. I loved her so much. But anyway.
And she was a very gentle person.
Yeah, one day I got her crying, and she brought out the wooden spoon, and she was like, I've got the wooden spoon. And I was laughing, and she was crying, and I still remember that. I feel so bad. And my grandpa came home, like, in from the fields, and I was hiding from him. And he was like, he wouldn't, his eyes were like burning, you know, he was so mad.
Blue eyes. Yeah,
very light blue eyes.
Yeah, it's hard to make blue eyes burn.
He was like, why would you do that? Why would you be that way to your grandma? And
well, he was a very quiet man.
yeah, he was a very gentle person, but
but he protected his wife.
Exactly, and so he should have, because she was wonderful. Anyway, back to this. So James had a different idea of what the chorus is about, but I think I'm right.
Came up with a better idea.
It's all God made you, and now you made me, kind of thing, and now you're teaching me. I like to learn from you, and what color is black when it's burned? You know, it's the kind of thing a kid would say, right? And
I figured the choruses were actually said by the father, the grown-up figure, but Pauline came up with a better interpretation. And the thing is, when you get old, you'd better be flexible. And when someone comes up with something better, you'd better back down. Is all I can say.
So James pointed out that a child wouldn't say, "You can't conceive of the pleasure of my
the second
smile,"
line.
and
There's no way a child would come up with that. But
God gave to you, now you give to me, that sort of thing. But
this is perfectly
it's
legitimate.
Yeah, it's just, you recognize that, well, this is something he's reminiscing about, right? So, anyway, the rhythm is perfect, and the song is lovely. I really like the sound of that tune. Very pretty.
23. I think he was 23, maybe at least when they put that out. I'm not sure exactly when he was born.
So I don't know how much you want to say about that one. It's funny.
I used to like the Wimpy song. I liked it more than several years later. I liked Comes a Time, but it seemed to be, it was bizarre because Neil Young was kind of in your face a little bit on their first album, late 66, early 60s, late 66 was it. And then their classic album, Buffalo Springfield, they were 60% Canadian, and I'm telling you folks, they were the great American band. They were the answer to the Beatles, and they were in your face with the Beatles because they were way better instrumentalists, taken all told. And lyrically, they had no one like John Lennon, but Neil Young was trying. He was actually trying. And their second album is this, I think, the second best album of 1967. I don't have to tell you which one it is, but I'm going to tell you. It's Sgt. Pepper's. There are songs on that like Bluebird by Stephen Stills, and especially Broken Arrow by Neil Young. They are classic. And, you know, they're up there with A Day in the Life for two of the best rock and roll songs ever, and stuff put out in the rock and roll genre. And I don't know what happened to Neil Young. At any rate, the next album, he basically quit the group. It's funny, their album cover showed the group looking this way, and Neil Young, he's looking this way. He'd already quit the group on the album cover. But they did have two of his songs, and I think he sang at least one of them, maybe both of them. So one was I Am a Child, just like not what you expect from Neil Young. Kind of laid back, just a regular song form. Broken Arrow is like full of all different pieces of songs and stuff like that. And the other was, it wasn't Expecting to Fly, but maybe a little more laid back. I've kind of forgot. Anyway, it was a laid back kind of song. I'm kind of glitching on the name right now. But just not what you'd expect from Neil Young. And I expected either something really ambitious like Broken Arrow or something like Buffalo Springfield took a riff from the Rolling Stones in 1967. The Rolling Stones plagiarized themselves the next year, and the riff is the Satisfaction riff. Well, I'm telling you, I like Jumpin' Jack Flash. I'm not a huge fan of Satisfaction, but Buffalo Springfield cut the Rolling Stones all hollow on Mr. Soul. Cut them to pieces on Jumpin' Jack Flash, much less Satisfaction. That's what I expected of Neil Young. And then he has these kind of laid-back things with lots of minor chords and stuff like that. I'm going, well, I don't like this. But, you know, like when I started looking at the lyrics a little bit harder, like, what is the color when black is burned? It's something that a kid asks, but sometimes kids ask profound questions. You know, what is it? But, that one is a little bit better than the other one, the weak one. It's called Last Time Around, the 68 album.